Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into the world of a really fascinating artist today, Pandit Prodyut Mukherjee.
Yeah, a master percussionist whose story is quite something.
Absolutely. We've looked through quite a bit of material articles, interviews, background info, and what we want to do in this deep dive is explore how someone like him manages to, well, champion this incredibly deep, ancient heritage.
While also pushing boundaries, constantly innovating. It's that balance, isn't it?
Exactly. And through his story, you, listening, might get some real insights, things about mentorship, how art evolves, and even how music can play a role in, social change.
It's a rich journey.
So let's set the scene. Imagine this. Ravindra Bharati Auditorium, Hyderabad. It's 2025, the One World Fusion concert. The feeling in the air is just electric, that buzz.
Oh yeah, palpable.
And then the percussion starts. But it's not just drumming, it sounds like. Like roaring trains and maybe soft rain falling, and then this deep, resonant sound like a conch shell.
Wow. Creating soundscapes.
Totally. It felt like a bridge, connecting different worlds, different sounds. And right at the center of it all, Pandit Prodyut Mukherjee.
And I think what really comes through from everything we've looked at is how he embodies this idea that music, and maybe life too, is this constant conversation.
Yeah.
A dialogue between the past, what was, and what could be.
Yeah, evolution without just throwing away your roots.
Precisely. Tradition and innovation, they don't have to be enemies. They can feed each other. His journey really shows that.
Okay, let's dive into that journey. It starts back in Kolkata, West Bengal. Picture this tiny kid, like 5 years old, can barely see over the kitchen counter,
Right.
but he's already there, cross-legged, tapping away on little drums. For him, Prodyut, music wasn't just, piano lessons after school. It felt like breathing.
And early immersion. And in Hindustani classical music, which is, well, it's a universe in itself.
Can you unpack that a bit? What is Hindustani classical music, really?
It's vast. It's complex. Think of it less like rigid songs and more like a really sophisticated conversation between instruments, between voices. It's got these ancient roots, goes way back. But it's incredibly alive with improvisation. The point isn't always just hitting the notes perfectly. It's about evoking rasa-specific emotions, moods, painting pictures with sound.
Painting pictures. I like that. It sounds really deep.
It is. It engages your mind, your soul, not just your ears.
So he's immersed from age 5, and then by 16, he's already performing publicly. That's young.
Incredibly young. But behind that confidence, there were years of really intense training under a system that's quite different from what most people in the West might imagine. The guru-shishya parampara.
Right, the guru-student tradition. Tell us about that.
Okay, so guru-shishya parampara, it's this age-old Indian mentorship system, a really deep personal bond between the teacher, the guru, and the student, the shishya.
More than just lessons, then.
Oh, way more. This isn't like finding a tutorial online. Historically, it often meant the student literally lived with the guru. You weren't just learning technique.
You were learning life.
Exactly. Life lessons, discipline, a whole philosophy. It's about holistic development, physical, mental, spiritual. It ensured that these complex traditions, often passed down orally, were transmitted with real integrity and depth. Think ancient ashrams, that kind of lineage.
Wow. That's a massive commitment, a whole way of life, not just learning scales.
It is. It's transformational. And Prodyut was guided by some real giants within the system. His early gurus were Pandit Manakpal and Pandit Shankar Ghosh. Both of them were stalwarts of the Farrukhabad Gharana.
Gharana. Explain that term.
Right, a Gharana. Think of it like a musical family tree or a specific school of thought within the tradition. Each Gharana has its own distinct style, its own signature. The Farrukhabad Gharana, for instance, is known for its really bold, powerful, expressive strokes on the tabla.
Okay, so different musical personalities almost.
Exactly. Different artistic signatures. And later, his journey continued under another master, Padma Shri Pandit Swapan Chaudhuri. He's from the Lucknow Gharana.
And Lucknow is different again.
Yes. The Lucknow style is often described as more graceful, intricate, maybe reflecting the poetic, courtly elegance associated with the city of Lucknow itself. Very refined patterns.
And there's a great little story connected to Pandit Swapan Chaudhuri, isn't there? Something about cooking.
Yes. This one really shows the guru-shishya bond beyond just the music room. Prodyut tells this story from San Francisco. His guru, Pandit Chaudhuri, apparently was also a pretty good cook.
Okay.
And one day decides he's making some Western-style chicken. And who gets roped in as sous chef? Young Prodyut. Chopping onions, chilies. He said the onions made him cry buckets.
Ha! But the chicken was good.
Apparently the taste wiped away all the tears. But it's more than just a funny anecdote, right?
Yeah, what does it tell us?
It shows how that deep personal connection, that trust and humility built outside of formal lessons is actually key. It's essential for absorbing the really subtle stuff, mastering the telekeka, those complex rhythmic cycles.
The backbone of the rhythm.
Exactly. Or truly understanding the bowls. These are the spoken syllables, like a language for the drum strokes. Each syllable represents a specific sound or technique. You don't just learn that intellectually, you absorb it through that close relationship.
That makes total sense. You need that trust to really open up to that level of detail. Okay, let's talk about the instrument itself, the tabla.
Ah, the tabla. Such an iconic instrument. It likely emerged around the 18th century. Some legends point to the poet Amir Khusro. Others see it evolving from older drums like the pakawash.
And it's two drums, right?
That's right. Two distinct parts. You have the dayan, usually played with the right hand. That's the smaller wooden drum, producing those sharp, higher-pitched tunable notes.
Okay.
And then the bayan, the left-hand drum, usually metal, larger, producing those deep, resonant bass tones, that characteristic booming sound.
But Pandit Prodyut does something special with it, doesn't he? He innovates.
He really does. He didn't just master the traditional ways. He started borrowing techniques, especially from another school, the Varanasi Gharana, known for its unique approach to playing melody on the bass drum, the bayan.
Melody on a bass drum. How?
By using specific hand pressure and sliding techniques. This allows him to coax an amazing range of sounds out of it. He can mimic thunder, gentle whispers, create these incredibly vivid sound pictures.
So those train sounds, the rain, that's how he does it.
Exactly. He uses a vocabulary of over 30 bowls, those rhythmic syllables, combined with techniques like sliding fingers for that chugging train sound, or rapid light taps for rain. He makes the tabla tell stories.
It's incredible taking a traditional instrument and just expanding its voice.
Yeah. But even with all this artistry, around 2014, he, like many classical musicians, faced a bit of a challenge.
What was that?
Well, traditional Hindustani concerts. They were finding it harder to draw big crowds, especially younger audiences. Sponsorship was getting tougher. Pop music, digital streaming. The landscape was changing.
A familiar story for many traditional art forms, I guess. A crossroads moment.
Definitely. What do? Stick to tradition and risk fading away, or adapt?
And he chose to adapt.
Visionary adaptation, I'd say. He formed Rhythm Express. This was his fusion band.
Fusion, so mixing styles.
Precisely. Expertly blending core Indian classical elements, the intricate rhythms, the melodic ideas with sounds from all over, Western harmonies, African polyrhythms, Latin grooves.
Now, fusion wasn't totally new in Indian music, was it?
No, not entirely. You had pioneers like Pandit Ravi Shankar working with George Harrison back in the 60s, which really opened up global ears to Indian sounds. But Rhythm Express felt like a new evolution of that idea for its time. Prodyut saw the changing audience not as a threat, but as an invitation to innovate, to expand the music's reach.
So what did Rhythm Express sound like? Like mixing spices, he said earlier.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Imagine layering these beautiful flowing Indo-Occidental melodies on top of really complex, driving Afro-Latin rhythms. It's exciting, unexpected, but still deeply rooted.
And they took this sound global.
Absolutely. Toured all over Tokyo, New York, you name it.
Yeah.
Often collaborating with other amazing artists. Sometimes a sarangi player like Kamal Sabri, creating these incredible Jikal bandist duets where they trade musical ideas back and forth. Other times, maybe a jazz drummer, always exploring.
And this led to a breakthrough.
It did. The album Rhythm Express Moods. This was huge. It was a collaboration with another legend, Padma Bhushan Pandit Vishwa Mohan Pat.
The inventor of the Mohan Veena, right? That modified slide guitar.
That's the one. An incredible instrument. And he himself won a Grammy back in '94 for A Meeting by the River. So this collaboration was major.
And Moods. How did it do?
It won the Global Indian Music Academy Award, the GIMA Award in 2016 for Best Instrumental Album. The GIMAs are often called India's Grammys, so yeah, it's a massive success. A real game changer for Prodyut.
What was special about that album?
It was described as this sonic tapestry, woven with threads both ancient and modern, starting perhaps with these calm, meditative rags.
You mentioned rags before. Can we pause on that? What exactly is a rag?
Good question, because they're absolutely central. A rag isn't really a song in the Western sense. It's more like a framework, a melodic structure, a set of notes, rules for how to move between them, and crucially, an associated mood or emotion.
Like a painter's palette.
Exactly like a palette. Each rag gives you the colors and rules to paint a specific emotional picture. For instance, you might have Rag Kirwani, often associated with a kind of gentle melancholy or longing,
Okay.
or Madhuvanti, which can feel full of joy and celebration,
Mm.
or Charakesi, another beautiful one. They provide the blueprint for the improvisation, for the creation.
So mood started with these serene rags and then built up.
Yeah, building towards these powerful rhythmic climaxes. And later albums in the Rhythm Express series even brought in visual elements like choreography, always pushing.
And his creative process for coming up with this music is interesting too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite nomadic.
Ah, yes. Apparently
Okay.
he gets ideas on the move. He might be traveling, maybe humming a rag melody into his phone.
Just humming into his phone.
Yeah, capturing the initial spark. Then later, back in the studio, he lets it grow, lets it blossom into a full composition.
So his concerts are never quite the same twice.
Never static. Each performance is a live dialogue with the audience, with the moment. He can take you on this incredible journey, maybe starting slow, atmospheric, then building intensity, hitting these explosive towels.
Tails are the rhythm cycles.
Right, the rhythmic cycles. Like Teen Towel, which is a very common and foundational 16-beat cycle. He might move from something really subtle to that powerful 16-beat groove, and the energy just shifts. People leave feeling energized, but also like they've learned something, experienced something profound.
It sounds amazing, but his work isn't just confined to the concert hall, is it? He connects music to, well, the earth itself.
He does. This is quite beautiful. On World Environment Day in June 2025, he launched this really unique tree plantation drive. Not just anywhere, but in Santiniketan.
Santiniketan, that's the place founded by Rabindranath Tagore, right? The
Yeah.
poet and philosopher. A UNESCO site now.
That's the one. A place deeply connected to arts, education, and nature. So he goes there and plants trees. But here's the twist.
What's a twist?
He named the trees after rags.
No way. Like musical trees.
Sort of. A Galancha tree was named Desh, often associated with patriotism or homeland, maybe remembering soldiers. And a Maltas tree, with its stunning yellow flowers, became Lalit, a mourning rag, perhaps honoring Santiniketan's heritage. A Palash sapling, known for its fiery orange-red flowers, was named Bahar, which means spring.
That's incredibly poetic. What was his thinking behind it?
His explanation was simple and profound. Music and nature are deeply intertwined. He said rags themselves are often inspired by seasons, times of day, elements of nature. So nurturing the earth, planting these trees, is like giving back to the source of inspiration.
That really resonates. We see artists globally talking more about environmental issues.
Right, people like Bob Dylan, Billie Eilish,
Right.
using their platform. And here's an Indian classical musician doing it in this uniquely symbolic way. He even talked about maybe naming whole groves after families of rags.
Wow. Music literally taking root. And his connection work doesn't stop there. Music as healing.
Yes. That one World Fusion concert we mentioned at the start, the 12th season in 2025. It was co-curated with Abhijit Bhattacharya from the Sanjitanjali Foundation.
And its purpose.
It was a fundraiser,
Yeah.
specifically for the Autism Ashram, an organization using music therapy to support children with autism.
So the concert wasn't just entertainment, it was actively helping people through music.
Exactly. Showcasing music's power not just to connect cultures, but to heal, to support vulnerable communities. You had tabla duets, rags blending with jazz, drawing diverse crowds for a really important cause.
It shows the many dimensions of his work. Innovator, performer, environmentalist, healer. But also, he seems very focused on legacy, on the future of the music itself.
Very much so. And his role as a Grammy jury member plays into that. He's been doing that since around 2022.
Being on the Grammy jury, that's a position of influence, isn't it? Especially for world music categories.
Huge influence. He acts as a global ambassador for indie music on that platform. His presence helps ensure that diverse voices, especially from the global south, get heard and recognized. It helps diversify the nominations.
We've seen some positive signs there recently, like Shakti winning in 2024. His involvement probably contributes to that kind of shift.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps ensure a richer, more representative global music landscape is celebrated. But even as he champions indie music globally, he has concerns about how it's being learned back home.
Concerns? What kind?
He sees incredible young talent, kids just bursting with talent, as he put it, but he worries they're often taking shortcuts.
Shortcuts, like learning online.
Exactly. Learning from YouTube videos, from short clips, Instagram reels. They get the surface level, maybe learn a few flashy patterns, but they miss the depth that only comes from a real guru.
Back to the guru-shishya parampara. He feels it's being lost.
He feels its essence is being missed. That hands-on guidance, correcting your finger placement, teaching you how to breathe with the rhythm, instilling discipline, fostering that deep emotional connection.
Stuff you just can't get from a screen.
Precisely. He contrasts that holistic depth with what he sees as the often shallow, convenient nature of purely digital learning. He points to examples like the legendary Ustad Zakir Hussain, whose rigorous training under his father, Ustad al-Araka, formed the bedrock of his incredible boundary-pushing career. That deep personal transmission makes all the difference.
It's a powerful argument for the irreplaceable value of human connection in mastering complex arts. So what's his solution?
Well, he has a big dream. He wants to open his own gurukul.
A traditional music school.
Yes, but with a crucial difference. He plans to teach there for free.
For free, wow.
Yeah. And his vision goes beyond just teaching the notes and rhythms. He wants to equip students comprehensively, teach them performance skills, how to navigate the music industry, how to handle media interviews, even practical stuff like sound checks.
That sounds incredibly holistic and potentially life-changing for talented kids who lack resources.
Exactly. Imagine the impact. Democratizing access to this high-level training. It's not just about preserving tradition. It's about making it accessible and equipping the next generation for the realities of being an artist today. A really powerful vision.
It really is. So we've traced this amazing journey of Pandit Prodyut Mukherjee, from that little boy in Kolkata, tapping rhythms,
Mastering ancient traditions, innovating with fusion, becoming a global ambassador on the Grammy stage.
you planting musical trees and dreaming of a free school for the next generation. It's a story of constant evolution, but always grounded in deep respect for the roots.
A real balancing act, honoring heritage while embracing innovation. His whole life seems to embody that dynamic conversation we talked about at the beginning.
And his passion for mentorship, for that deep guru-shishya connection in our hyper-digital age, really stands out.
It does. It makes you think, doesn't it? In a world full of quick fixes and readily available information, what's the real value of deep learning, of dedicated personalized guidance?
That's the provocative thought for you, listening. What does Pandit Prodyut's story make you think about? About the balance between tradition and change in your own life or work? Or about the power of mentorship, either giving or receiving it?
Maybe this deep dive inspires you to, I don't know, actually listen to a rag and try to feel its emotion. Or maybe seek out a mentor for something you're passionate about. Or just appreciate the rhythm of an artist like Prodyut Mukherjee, who truly makes the past sing in the present.
His music, like those trees he planted, seems set to keep resonating, inviting us all to find our own rhythm in that ongoing dance between where we come from and where we might go.